Hey everyone, welcome back to another lesson here on the channel. Today we're going to be talking about whether you should be spending your time and energy selling cheap products on Amazon or selling more expensive products on Amazon. It's not as simple and cut as dry as just yes to one and no to the other. There's pros and cons to both. So we'll be discussing that today. If that sounds like something you're interested in watching, be sure to stick around to the end. Be sure to like and subscribe down below. But without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, so starting us off is we need like one of those boxing bells. Ding, ding, ding. The low priced products. In this case, all I've done is I've set up my opportunity finder how I normally would. The link down below for this affiliate link if you want to use that, get a discount on this. It's a cool tool. We have 14, 15, mostly $14, $15 products because I've sorted by average monthly price, and that's the minimum that I put in up above. If we were to look, 14. So already, let's just pick a couple of these and we'll just use these as examples. Polymer clay beads. We'll open that in a new tab. Wood grain vinyl wrap. We can check that out. No problem there. And then maybe we'll do grinder mold for resin. Like a weed grinder. That's probably what it is. All right, we'll open those up. And now let's flip this thing around and let's go look for more expensive products. Just want to open a couple of each. So we will sort the other way. Now we have all of our $70 things and we're going down. Boxwood balls. I guess we can try that out. Sounds like some kind of home decor thing. And again, you're not always going to be able to find 3 in a row, but we'll see. A folding wall desk. Maybe we'll just do that. I usually end up going through less than I pick anyway. So when we open this up, we'll go with polymer clay beads. Just talk about the idea of this product. And don't get too caught up on any one idea that I've picked today. This isn't really a product research video and why these ideas specifically are good. Try and listen to this as a lecture on the pricing strategy and the cost of goods more than anything. And these are just serving as a place to click buttons. So when we look at this market, there's actually some big sellers here making a decent amount of money. Not very many new sellers making a lot. So again, like I said, it's not really a market I'd probably choose. But we could find one example here of someone with 43 reviews and they're making $3,000 a month, 168 sales a day. That's over 5 sales a day. So we'll use that as our example for this market. Now, with a product like this, it's literally just plastic beads in a plastic container with a very cheap looking pair of scissors and then Crystal Tech, whatever that is. Since they're selling for $18.99, if we were to open up our profitability calculator and just do nothing here whatsoever, sometimes this is good. Maybe we'll increase the shipping cost a little bit. It's probably even more than that. Just to be fair there, might even be more than that, but that's okay. $4 per unit sounds about right. It might even be slightly more expensive than that. So again, we could go up a little bit. That seems about right to me. It might be even less than that, but we'll just kind of go with my gut reaction here. About 30 to 35% profit margin. If I didn't change anything, I think we're closer to 35. With the little adjustments I made, we're sitting at around 31%. So not a big change by any means. We're already sitting at the bottom end of where I think I would start to even consider selling a product. Generally anything under 35% net margin starting out, I'm just going to walk away from that. But in general, let's just use this as our example. So when we're talking about selling low price products, let's go over some quick pros really quick. We could scale much faster with more and more ASINs. So each ASIN isn't going to sink, all of your capital into it. Everything starts to come down, especially if you can keep the same idea of finding markets that are not oversaturated and selling those low price products. Then, hey, even if something's $9.99, well, if you're getting it for $1 and shipping it for 50 cents, that's fine, right? If you have a 300% ROI on that product, in that situation, that might be rare. But say you could find that, that's something that I would do all day. So just the general kind of stigma around selling really cheap products doesn't need to exist. I would want you to look at every opportunity with an individual analyzation set out for how that product is going to work. The pros are it's going to be cheaper to launch You're going to be able to order more units for less, obviously, since they don't cost as much. Instead of ordering, 100 units of something far more expensive, you're going to be able to order maybe 1,000 units of something that's much less expensive after you get that market confirmation from your first order of maybe 300. It's probably going to be easier to keep in stock. And then going into some of the cons of this, you're usually going to have lower margins. So easier to keep in stock, easier to scale, easier to launch multiple ASINs, easier to launch variations. Pretty much everything is easier and cheaper, but you usually end up with less profit at the end of the day. And I feel like these specific low price markets, I don't know if it's just me, are the most targeted ones on Amazon. I don't actually think that's an opinion anymore. I think that's actually true. The largest area of Amazon's listed by private label third-party sellers, don't quote me on this, I believe it's between $14 and $24. So quite literally, you have the most direct competition always looking in this area. So that's another con that's going on our con list. Let's go ahead and head over to the higher priced, more expensive things now. Here's another couple examples of, I was right about this for sure. Oh yeah, sure, that's what they're grinding, flowers. There's actually pretty low reviews here and doesn't look too bad. So again, another thing, prices are really low. This is a perfect example of what I was saying before about, maybe I never said this, prices racing to the bottom. No, I never said that. I said something about competition. Another con, so here we go with the con list again. Prices tend to fall even faster because you're already in this $18 to $10 range. People just go, I'll just cut you by $1. And someone else goes, oh, I'll cut you by $1. And someone else goes, I'll cut you by $2. Before you know it, the average price is so low that where you were once selling well seems outrageous and you have to come down with them, even if sometimes you have a good differentiation. So that's another con. Let's get over to the more expensive products. So this is folding wall desk. Okay. I think I've actually seen this before. That's okay. In this case, we have most sellers selling in this $50 to $115 range, right? As we come down, we have people as low as looks like 80. I think I saw one for even 40 something. Yeah, this one's the cheapest one by far. But I would say a vast majority of our competitors are selling in that $75 range for the most part. So what's the pros and what's the cons here? Well, let's start with our pros like we did on the other one. So selling 1 or 2 units per day might net you the same exact thing as selling 8 or 9 units a day of a cheaper product. And if we know anything about conversions and sales, for the most part, it's easier to get 2 sales at $75 than 15 sales at $10. For the most part, right? Because those are customers that have to click on your listing and have to buy it. It's not always true. It's not just linear, but in most cases, it's going to be easier, like I said, to sell 6 units a month of something that makes you $50 a day. So in that sense, it's great. More profit per unit. You usually end up with a higher net margin with a lot of these products. And I see less of the racing to the bottom when I'm studying these markets. The most expensive product I've ever sold is $55. I haven't ventured into the 100 plus range yet. I haven't even ventured into the $89.99, close to $100 range yet. It is something that, it's the reason I'm making this video is because I'm in the middle of studying the differences between these and which one I'm really better off doing. And that's why I'm sharing my thoughts with you here today. And then another thing that I've noticed is, well, you don't have to order as many and they usually don't sell as many units. So as you go into these heavier, more expensive products, you can usually get away with ordering 100 or ordering 150. You don't always have to keep 750 units in stock, right? So you end up being able to sell products that only need to sell 1 or 2 units a day to meet your goal. And then as you start making money from this product, as you start keeping it in stock, keeping it ranked, it just becomes this consistent, easy to manage, logistical nightmare. I was trying to do the reverse of a logistical nightmare where you have tons of ASINs, tons of variations, thousands of units. Sometimes that's hard to keep up with, even if the products cost $1 each. Here, sometimes that's much easier to manage. And then cons, well, the opposite of what we just said, shipping's often more expensive. Right, so they're bigger products, shipping's more expensive, the unit itself is more expensive. So this is starting to boil down to what you personally get more excited about. Both of them have their pros and cons. Last one for this, lot less eyes, lot less competition, right? That's a fact. There's not as many sellers targeting these markets yet on Amazon. It's one of the overlooked areas, and specifically for the reason because it's big, it's bulky, it's slower to ship, it's more expensive to ship. The units themselves are more expensive. That's not your average demographic of someone who's looking to sell physical products. Most people are going for, the thing that fits in a shoebox kind of criteria. Thank you for sticking around to the end. That's going to do it for this one. Be sure to like and subscribe down below so you don't miss videos like this in the future if you haven't already. Other than that, I will see you next time. Later.